Okay, so good morning, guys. This is for those that were not able to make it to the class yesterday. So I'm just making this class to summarize what we did yesterday night. So yesterday, I gave them some tips for the French class, and before we go into the tips for numbers, I'm going to first drop some tips that can help you with the exam. And one of the tips is that number one, you don't need to learn French from the scratch. I know that some of you are already going to look for more research on French. You don't need to do any research on French. You don't need to. You don't need to learn how to pronounce words because you are not doing spoken or oral exams. You are doing a written exams. So all you just need to know is your spelling. You need to know how to recognize words so that when you see it in your exam, you are able to know, okay, this is what the word means. That is all you need. You don't need to learn pronunciation. Neither do you need to learn how to speak French, or you want to go and learn French from the scratch. Everything that they will ask you is in your exam is based on what is in your GS 108. They are not going to ask you anything out of the context of GS 108. My last year students, when they did their French, not one question came outside GS 108. All the questions that you'll be asked is within the confines of your handout. So just focus on your handouts. That is what you on the 9 lessons that has been given to you. Now, let's go into numbers. So I'm sure that you guys must have done numbers in your interactive section, and here is a trick that helped me when I was trying to memorize numbers in French. Now that trick I'm going to teach you now. Now you need to pause this video first. Pause this video, go and browse 1 to 20 in French. Write it out probably in a book or in your jotter. Once you've written out 1 to 20 in your French, then write the 30, write 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Make sure you write that down. So what you're going to do now is pause this video, go to your browser, look for figure 1 to 20 in French, and also look for 30, 40, 50, 60 to 100, if possible 1000 too. Now, why do you need to learn numbers? You need to learn numbers because of two things. Two topics will be coming out in your examination. One is dates. They'll be asking you about dates. Number two, they will also be asking you about calculations in French. Yes, so dates, they can ask you, what is today's date? Quelle est la date aujourd'hui? You want to say aujourd'hui here. Maybe today is okay, let's say today 1st of February, right? So you want to say première for février. Then you want to do 2024. You will say 2000, which means 2000. Then 24 is 24. 2024. Now that is why you need to know your numbers in French. That is and you will notice that in your handout there is no numbers there. So that is why they have to teach you this one separately. And that is why I'm starting with this, because numbers is the basis of your French. Once you learn alphabet, you move to numbers. Now, I'm sure that by this time you must have written out your 1 to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make sure you write it completely. But that 30, 40, you can just write 30. What 30 is. You don't need 31, 32, 33. You don't need all those ones. Just write 30. What 30 is. What 40 is. What 50 is. What 60 is. What 70 is. What 80 is. What 90 is. What 100 is. Then 1000. Then make sure that 1 to 20 is everything that you write. 1, 2, 3, and here. Make sure you write everything. Now, Here's how to master numbers. Now from 1 to 10, or let me say 1 to 20 is the base number. That is, once you know you can memorize 1 to 20, you can know any number in French. Yes, I'll repeat that again. Once you know 1 to 20, you know any number in French. Now, 1 is on, 2 is do, 3 is tra, 4 is quatre, 5 is cinq, 6 is 6, 7 is sept, 8 is huit, 9 is neuf, then 10 is dix. That's 1 to 10, right? Now 11 to 20. 11 is onze, 12 is douze, 13 is treize, 14 is quatorze, 15 is quinze, 16 is seize, 17 is dix-sept, 18 is dix-huit, and 19 is dix-neuf, 20 is vingt. Your 30, trente. Your 40, quarante. Your 50, cinquante. Your 60, soixante. Your 70, soixante-dix. Your 80, quatre-vingts. Your 90, quatre-vingt-dix. And lastly, your 100 is cents. Your 1000 is mille. Now, for your 1 to 10, you need to learn this very well. Now, let's move to 11 to 20. From 11 to 14, you will notice that they all end. No, 11 to 16, you notice that it ends with ZE. Check it. Your 11 ends with ZE, your 12 ends with ZE, your 13 ends in ZE, 14, 15, 16 ends with ZE. Did you notice that? Now, you even notice that 11, which is horns, sounds like your number 1, on. Your 12, which is do's, looks like number 2, do. So what's the way I can differentiate between 2 and 12? I know that, okay, they sound alike, oh, but one thing you should have at the back of your mind is that, okay, 12, anything from 11 to 16 ends with ZE. Do you understand? That is one way that you can memorize it. Anything from 11 to 16 ends with ZE. So I know that if I'm saying do's, which ends with ZE in my exam, it is not do, which is 2. It is 12. You understand that? So this is one way that you can assimilate, you can memorize it. Now, there's one thing I want you to take note of. Your number 7, see that figure 7 always have an issue. It always have an issue. Check 11 to 16. They are all just one word, right? Now go and check from 17. You see that they splitted it. They splitted 17 into dix, sept. Those are 2 numbers. Your dix is what? 10. Yes. Your sept is what? 7. Giving you dix-sept. Dix-sept is what? 17. They started separating the numbers from 17. There's always a problem with your 7. You will see the same thing when we reach number 70. They are always separating it. If others are coming as one word, dix-sept will have what? 2 separate words. That's for 7. Now, the same thing with dix-huit. They separated it to 10 plus 8. The same thing with 19. They separated it to dix-neuf, which is 10 plus 9. Can you see that? That is why I said you need to know 1 to 10 and 1 to 20, because they are the base numbers for all the numbers in French. So you need to know them very well. Now, and that is why I'm making you know now that there's always a problem with number 7. This is a trick that will help you memorize it. Now, 17 dix-sept, 18 dix-huit, 19 dix-neuf, then 20 is what? 20. We move to 20, which is 20. 30, 30. So if you want to write 20 in French, which is 20, you write if you want to write 21 in French, which is 21. What do I mean by 21? That's 20. Your a, that a that I added to it is et, which means and, then un, on. That's 21. Now the reason why you have it as 20 and 1, that is how it is in French. You know, it's not 21. You just write 20 and then you write 1. In this case, you don't do it like that. Even 31, the same thing, is 31. 41, the same thing. 41, 51, 51. It is the same thing, like the same thing. So if you want to write your 21, 31, 41, and this one is only for the for 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, 71, 81, 91, 101. Like anyone that ends with 1, 1, 1. You write it as 21, 31, 41, 51, 61. You understand? So you write it 60 and 1, 70 and 1. You understand me? Now let's move from there. Now for your 70, let's move to 70. Look at your 20, 1, just one word. Your 30, 30, just one word. Your 40, your 40, 40, just one word. 50, 50, 60, 60. When you now got to 70, what happened there? You know, I told you that there's always a problem with 7. Anything 7, 7, 7. That's one way you can memorize. Your 70, what happened to it? They splitted it into 2 words. They splitted it into 60 and 10, which is 60 plus 1. Now let me sound this to you. Write this down. If the bigger number comes before the smaller number, you add together. If the big number comes before the small number, you add 2 of them together. If the big number comes before the small number, you add it together. But if the small number excuse me, if the small number comes before the big number, you multiply. What do I mean? If the small number comes before the big number, you multiply. For example, look at 70 now. 70 is what? 60 and 10. We know that our 60 is what? 60. And we know that our 10 is what? 10. Right? So 60 is a bigger number than 10. Because 60 is 60, 10 is 10. So 60 is bigger than 10, isn't it? So what do we do in this case? We add them together. That is why we are having 60 plus 10, giving us 70. That is why we can have 70. Now for 80, you can see that it's different. For 80, we have 4 and we have 20. 80. We cannot say 4 plus 20, giving us 24. I already mentioned that the small number, if the small number comes before the big number, you do what? You times it together. So this 4 and 20, the small number there is 4, and 4 is coming before 20. So what do we do in this case? We times them. So 4 times 20 is what? 80. I'm only showing you how they came across 70, which is 70, and 80, which is 80. Now for 90. Now there's a similarity between 70 and 92. What's the similarity between the two numbers? You notice that they both end with what? Dix, right? Okay. Now in this case, now you see some people, if they now want to continue their 71, they will go and write 70 on UN. Or if they want to write 91, they will write 90 on. You are completely wrong if you do that. You are wrong. If you write 70 on, you are wrong for 71. So what did they do? You know that Dix is what? 10. So you cannot go back to 1. You have to continue. You stopped at 10, you have to move to 11. So rather than saying 70 on, which is what you think is 71, you write it as 71. 11, which means 70 plus 11. 60 plus 11, pardon me, which is 71. You continue your 72. 72, which is what? 72. Your 73. 73. Do you understand? So you cannot write 70 for 70 and go and write 71. It is wrong in French. I'm only telling you how it is. That is one way you can assimilate. You understand me? So 60, once you see any one number that ends with dix, you know that your 70 ends with dix. Your 90 ends with dix. Even your 90 self, 80. The 90, you can see that they did 80, which is 80, that, right? We said that 4 times, any small number that comes before a big number is what? We are multiplying it. So we said 4 times 20 is what? 80. They now added 10 to it. 80 is bigger than 10, right? So we are going to plus it. So 80 plus 10 is what? 90. That is how we got 80 dix for 90. Now, it ends with dix. So if you want to now write 91, you're not going to go and write 80 dix. Say, oh no, you will be wrong. You will miss it. And they will confuse you in your exam. They might bring that one out for as an option in your exam. So they will confuse you. So in order not to be confused, your soixante dix on is wrong. Just know that, okay, it ends with dix. It has to continue with 11. Now, so instead of 80 dix on, your 91 will be 91. 92. Your 91 is 91. Your 92, 92. Your 93, 93. That is 4 times 20 plus 13. Do you understand me? So once the number ends with dix, you know that you are moving to 11. You are not moving back to 1. Because your 11 is not dix-on. Your 11 is not dix-on. Your 11 is ons. I hope you understand that. So I've told you that for your numbers, you have to memorize your 1 to 20. There's no way you can look for how to. You just need to memorize 1 to 10 very well. Now from 11 to 16, it ends with ZE. So it's something that you can easily recognize. Your 17 to 19, they separated it. 10 plus 7, 10 plus 8, 10 plus 9. While your 20, I told you to learn 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 1000. 1000 is mille. M-I-L-L-E. Once you can learn this, my dear, your numbers is simple. You are good to go. You are good to go. There's no problem at all. Now, there is another reason why I said you need to learn numbers is because of calculation. And what I mean by calculation is not I'm not saying maybe simultaneous equation or all those big mathematical. No. I mean your plus, that simple plus, addition, which is addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. Now your addition, which is plus. Plus in French is plus. And how do you pronounce? It's the same spelling, P-L-U-S, but different pronunciation. You understand that? Your minus in French, which is subtraction, is moins, which is M-O-I-N-S. M-O-I-N-S is your minus, moins. M-O-I-N-S is minus. Then, thirdly, division, which is divide. Divide is diviseur, which is D-I-V-I-S-E-R. D-I-V-I-S-E-R. That is divide. Then for your multiply, you have multiplier, which is M-U-L-T-I-P-L-I-E-R. They are kind of similar to the English word. Your plus and plus, same spelling. Your minus and moins, they are not the same spelling, but it also starts with M. So if you see moins in your exam, you know that, okay, it's minus they are talking about. Your multiplier looks like multiply, so you can easily get that one. Your divisor looks like divide, so you can easily get that one. You understand? So when you see it in your exam, once you know numbers, what your numbers are, and you see divisor, you see multiplier, or you see plus, you know, okay, they're telling me to divide this number by this number. Do you understand me? That is why you need to know your numbers very well. Like now, if they say, what is 60 plus 10? They are asking you what is 60 plus 10. 60 plus 10 égale à, when you see égale à, that is EGAL, then A. EGAL, then A, it means equals to. Yes. Égal means equal. Equals to. So when you see 60 plus 10 égale à, you're saying 60 plus 10 equals to, that is your what? Your 70. Do you understand that? So this is what they will ask you in your exam. Once you can know your numbers, you are good to go. You can do anything in dates. You can also do anything in your calculations. Now, for that date, you also need to learn days of the week, months of the year. You understand? So all this will help you to be able to recognize words in French. I'm not going to be teaching you French or teaching you how to pronounce words. That's not what we are here to do. We are here to know how to recognize words. How can I do 1 plus 1 that will give me 2? How can I know how to answer some questions? If I see some questions in my French, how do I know how to answer them? You don't even need to know how to read everything. Once you are able to recognize some words in the question they ask you, and you are able to see the kind of option they gave you, because it's going to be objective. Once you see the options, you are good to go. Your options, you have in the option, will determine the question they are asking. I'm telling you, for those that don't know French, because all of us, we don't know French, we just want to try our best to get something good. Like me, because I have a basic knowledge in French, that's why I was able to, I was able to try my best and do well in French. But for those that don't have basic ideas, this is who this trick is for. You don't need to learn everything in French. You just need to know some simple tricks. And these tricks, we will learn them in definite, indefinite, and participative articles. Once we learn them, I'm going to be giving you classwork. I'm going to be giving you class activities. We're going to be doing a lot just to ensure that, okay, we cover all the whole 9 lessons. And all these are inclusive in the paid class. You have to pay for the class, and we're starting on Monday, which is February 5th. That's next week Monday, because French exam GES 108 is on the 20th of February. So we need to start picking things and rushing it. So I would advise that for you to get all these tricks and all these tips, you subscribe for this paid class, and it is just for 2,500 naira, 25, for 3 weeks and 3 days per week. And then you have 2 physical classes too, where I'll be treating past questions with you. I'll treat all the old past. I have over 8 past questions with me. So those 2 days we'll be doing past questions. I'll show you how to recognize questions in your exam. I'll show you how to answer them. That is what those physical classes meant for. That is why I had to do it as physical class, so you can understand what I'm saying. We're going to be making use of a classroom setting, and we'll have a board where I can explain things and break things down for you guys. So I just want to use this to help you guys. So if you are interested, just reach out to me in my DM and we are good to go. Thank you very much. Bye.